The break of Harlem Nights. It was supposed to be just another Harlem night. Neon signs buzzed outside the apartment window like they always did, casting an eerie glow over the living room floor where a pair of heels lay abandoned. Jim Jones paced the hallway of his condo, the weight of suspicion heavy in his chest. Something had felt off for weeks now. Texts Chrissy would hide, phone calls taken in the bathroom, her sudden late nights with no explanation. Jim wasn't the type to snoop. He wasn't built like that. But tonight was different. He had come back early from the studio. Something in his gut told him to. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe just paranoia, he wasn't sure. But the moment he stepped into the apartment and heard muffled voices coming from the bedroom, the truth hit him like a brick wall. That wasn't the TV. And Chrissy wasn't alone. He stood frozen in the hallway for a second, trying to breathe, trying to hope he was wrong. But when he pushed open the door and saw what he saw, Chrissy tangled in sheets, her back arched, her voice whispering a name that shattered everything, Jonta. Jim's world cracked in half. "Yo, what the F is this?" he roared, stepping into the room like a hurricane. Chrissy screamed and yanked the blanket around her. Jonta Harris, shirtless and wide-eyed, scrambled like a kid caught stealing cookies. He fumbled for his pants, tripping over them as he tried to pull them up. "Jim, wait, this isn't what it looks like," Chrissy shouted, voice shaking. "Ain't what it looks like," Jim barked, fury rising from his chest like a volcano. "So what it look like then? 'Cause from where I'm standin', my girl laid up with her ex, butt naked in my bed." Chrissy was crying now, begging, stammering, trying to explain something that couldn't be explained. Jonta, the same slick dude Jim never trusted back in the day, had the audacity to speak up. "Yo, Jim, man, don't do nothin' stupid." Jim lunged at him, fists clenched, catching Jonta with a right hook so hard he crashed into the dresser. Blood smeared the edge. Jonta groaned, half-conscious, trying to crawl away. Chrissy shrieked, trying to hold Jim back. "Stop, please, you'll kill him. He lucky that's all he got." Jim growled, veins popping in his neck. The room spun, not from motion, but from betrayal. Years of loyalty, love, and sacrifices, all tossed away for a moment with some dusty ex who couldn't let go. Jim stared at Chrissy. "How long?" he asked, voice low and dangerous. She couldn't meet his eyes. "A few weeks," she whispered. He laughed bitterly, backing out of the room. "You really played me like that? After everything? After I built this life with you? You went back to some dude that left you in the dirt?" "Jim, it wasn't like that. We never had closure. And you've been distant, always in the studio, always gone." Jim turned, his stare cutting through her like glass. "So that's your excuse? I'm grinding for us, and you out here getting cozy with history." Chrissy crumpled onto the bed, tears soaking the sheets she had just shared with another man. Jim grabbed his jacket, his keys, his heart in pieces. As he stormed out of the apartment, he could still hear her crying behind him. But he didn't look back. 2 days later, the streets whispered. Harlem was small when it came to business like this. Word traveled fast. Jim hadn't slept. He'd been posted up at the studio, laying verse after verse, trying to bleed the pain out through his music. The mic became his therapist, the beat his only escape. Capo pulled up one night, bottle in hand. "Heard what happened, bro? You good?" Jim nodded, but his eyes said different. "I ain't good. I'm just numb." "Yo, want me to handle it? We can make Jonta disappear. For real." Jim shook his head. "Nah, that dude already dead to me. And Chrissy, I don't even know who she is no more." They drank in silence. Jim played a new track, dark, raw, with lyrics that cut deep. "I gave you diamonds, you gave me lies, I gave you Harlem nights, you gave me cold goodbyes." It was art born from heartbreak. 1 week later, Chrissy showed up at the studio. She looked like a shadow of herself, eyes swollen, hair tied back, hoodie too big for her frame. Jim didn't say anything at first. He just looked at her. I messed up, she said softly. I don't expect you to forgive me. I needed you to know that I still love you. Jim laughed, cold, hollow. Nah, you love the idea of me. You love what I gave you. The lifestyle, the security. But love don't do what you did. Chrissy stepped closer. It wasn't about the lifestyle. Jonta, he just reminded me of who I used to be. And I got lost in that. He shook his head. And now you lost me. Silence filled the room. And for once, there were no beats, no verses. Just two broken people, staring at the space between them that used to be filled with dreams. She left without another word. 3 months later, Jim Jones dropped a surprise album called Harlem Heartbreak. It was unlike anything he'd ever done. Vulnerable, furious, honest. The track, Backstab in the Sheets, went viral overnight. Everyone knew what it was about, even Chrissy. The streets called it his lemonade moment. Jonta Harris, he disappeared from the scene completely. Rumors said he moved out of town after getting jumped outside a club. No one could confirm who did it, but Harlem had its ways. As for Chrissy, she tried to move on, but nothing fit like Jim did. She realized too late that nostalgia wasn't love. That comfort wasn't commitment. Jim, meanwhile, rose higher. More respected, more focused. He poured every ounce of betrayal into his grind, turning pain into platinum. But late at night, when the city quieted, he sometimes still thought about her. Not with anger, not with love, just a quiet ache for what could have been, before loyalty was broken and Harlem nights turned cold. The end. Let me know if you want it turned into a rap, screenplay, or expanded into a longer story.